Hello everyone, I am Tessellating Hexagons, back with another fine serving of Spyro 3 Year of the Dragon. We're heading into Molten Crater because I specifically want to annoy that one person in the audience, I don't know who you are, but you know who you are, who's really bothered by the fact that I still haven't done Sunny Villa, and I will put it off as long as possible for no reason other than it's level 1. Meow.
Rhinox are running rampant around here, but I can't get anyone out of the Tiki Lodge long enough to do anything about it.
So I've always had thoughts about this place as level. Also, we have wilted flowers, and I don't remember offhand if they're tied to a skill point or not. There is a skill point in Sunny Villa, which we will address when I do that level. Nearly jumped into lava there. Now, also, note this locked chest. We'll have to come back here later to open that. Well, later this episode anyway. And if memory serves, I think there is another way of opening that, but it happens so late in the game that it's really not useful because you will have opened all the chests by the point that becomes an option. Anyway, it's been well, this is the 3rd episode, and also I would have started recording like half an hour sooner, but for some reason my Elgato was having a funny 5 minutes, and by 5 minutes I mean half an hour. So I had to restart my entire computer just to get it to recognize that, hey, there is game happening here. And this is a very rare occasion where I actually did a practice run of this level elsewhere. So I know that down there, spoiler alert, there is, in fact, an egg waiting for us that I did not remember existed. Because as much as I love this game, I haven't played it in a good fuck of years, so there's a lot that I don't remember. That being said, we are still only in the first homeworld, and I would say the first 2 are sort of happy land, everything's fine. After that, well, from the second boss onwards, shit hits the fan with this game and just, tutorial times.
Be sure to keep your friend Sparks the Dragonfly healthy, Spyro. If his health is low, torch a little creature like the slug below me to release a butterfly.
We advocate the mass murder of small creatures! Yay! It's like a metaphor for humanity. Excuse you, you embor. Well, actually, it's more like pig night, I suppose. Like a feral pig night. Anyway, as I was trying to say, it's been 2 episodes and we're into the 3rd, and I still haven't got around to explaining why I struggle to take the name Year of the Dragon seriously. And I'm sort of tempted to make that just like a running gag of this LP, like I'm going to be about to explain and I'll get distracted by something. And that would be fun, given the nature of the story, but it's not so much the name itself that's a problem, as much as... We got a key, by the way. 3 guesses what that's for. It's not the name itself so much as its initials. Thing is, and this kind of ties into a Patreon bonus video of all things that I've posted recently, and if you don't follow me on Patreon at $3 or more, then you're not going to know this story, but basically, courtesy of a friend of mine showing it to me, I will now only ever associate the letters YOTD in that sequence with a rather lewd flash animation thing called Yiff on the Dance Floor. So that's what this game is to me now. Oh, dearie me. On the happier side of the don't say something sexual test, but this level has really good music, and I can't actually hear it because the TV's quiet so I don't get microphone feedback, and the fan is on in my room because it's warm today. It's like Magma Cone, but even better and less in terms of the instrument department. If you've not heard the soundtrack of Spyro 2, you won't know what I'm referring to. If you have, then you will.
Here, take this egg. They were giving them away at the Tiki Lodge last night.
Oh, the Tiki Lodge. That was a necessary reaction test. Thanks for your input. Anyway, Curly. Another dragon with the brown palette. His sneeze! So cute. I cannot wait to see these in the remake, just because how fantastic will they look. Now, ho there! It's a birdcage! Explain yourself, sign. Sergeant Bird. Oh no! So yeah, this is another one of our animal friends, but we can't visit him yet. Well, actually, we can, but I'll come back to that thought in a moment. So, in the same way that Sheila was imprisoned in the first homeworld with like a note attached saying, hang on a minute, you know, you need to pay money bags, otherwise you can go and die, or go tie a shoe or whatever suits. Well, that's going to be a running theme. Once per homeworld, there's going to be an animal body to rescue, and Sergeant Bird is one of those. And until we rescue him, and until we complete the, like, get to the end portal of his associated level, all instances of him appearing in a other level are locked off to us. In the same way that we'll see later on, there are sections of other levels, and Cloud Spires was a good level to start on because it didn't have one of these, but in Sunny Villa and in Seashell Shore, which is the next level after this, there are just areas like this that sort of look like the, like, there's an area that looks like Sheila's Alp portal thing inside the level. I'll explain more in a second.
Spyro, you're just in time. I saw 2 egg thieves run through this door. Well, actually, they paid me to guard their hideout, but that's irrelevant. I'll happily let you through the gate to chase them down for a small finder's fee.
Is it me, or is Moneybags charging even more for everything in this game compared to the previous one?
Thank you, Spyro, and best of luck catching those dastardly egg thieves.
So yeah, sometimes within levels there are going to be sections that look like the level portal associated with whichever animal buddy's homeworld, and you get to play as them in a portion of level. And, for instance, if we rescued Sheila but didn't complete Sheila's Alp, we still wouldn't be able to get to her sections of levels, basically.
Are you the dragon looking for all those eggs? Because I saw a shifty-looking character with one over there.
Thank you. Also, you're welcome. I just love that they go, hey. It's just wonderful. Oh, look, an egg thief, and he's yellow. Also, we have a supercharged section. So, yeah, for some reason, and I'd forgotten about this, even though I hadn't. Like, I still had the information in the back of my mind, but, yeah. Spyro 2 is the only one of the 3 to have supercharge as a like, super gate power-up thing. Because in both... Oh, apparently you need to actually go some... Wait, hang on a minute. I remember now. This is a supercharge way, but it's not activated yet. Haha. So you would have thought it's a futile effort chasing this thief on the supercharge track because you can't supercharge. Well, yeah, but thief can't supercharge either. So, you know, logical progression. Anyway, the point I'm getting at with the Sergeant Bird situation is we would have to go to whichever homeworld he's trapped in. And again, like I was saying last time, flame and you have a good time. We could rescue him, we'd have to beat his entire level and then come back, and only after paying to rescue him and beating his level. Hang on a minute, moment.
Hey, there goes another one! He was really fast. Maybe if I activate the supercharge, you'll be able to catch him.
There we go. Now it's active. So, yeah, Spyro 2, it's a power-up gate. In Spyros 1 and 3, there's a track with arrows on it. Also, suspect wall. Blow it open with your face. And you get a skill point for finding it. Apparently there is no skill point attached to the flowers. Okay, so we could rescue Sergeant Bird by paying for him and completing his level in whichever homeworld we find him, and then we'd have to come back. Because just paying for him isn't enough, we have to beat his homeworld. Have I explained that clearly enough? But, actually, because of where loading zones are stored in this game, you kind of can just cheat your way in like this. Basically, just as long as you fly above where the portal is. Okay, it's not easy, it's not meant to be done, but with a clever bit of parkour, you can hop up on top of the birdcage portal thing, and that's where the challenge portal data is stored until that door is unlocked, so you can just go straight in whether you've met Sergeant Bird yet officially or not. So, that's how you can cheese that, and yeah, I'm not actually going to show what's in there, because that would be spoilerific. But that's a thing that you can do with your life should you so choose. I'm not deliberately putting off chasing the thief, I want to get as many gem as possible, but yeah. I love it. I love the effect on the texture, and yep, now we charge. And it's just so satisfying. I feel like the supercharged, like, haptic feedback, so like the control vibrating and just the general viscerality of it, it feels so much more complete. I saw those gems, don't worry. Than it did in Spyro 2. Probably because we have, like, an actual track so we know if we're charging correctly or not. Whereas with Spyro 2, it's just go through a gate and hope for the best. Wow, that went really well. Well, since we're down here, I'll just grab those gems that I done did doodly see. Love the skybox here as well, because that's one thing that I'm not too sure about with the Reignited... Okay, a couple things I'm not sure about with the Reignited trilogy. For one, the name. I think it's dumb, personally. Just, really? Like, it was rumored to be the Treasure Trilogy, and that was a bit basic, but that made more sense, but Reignited, like, that sounds kind of like you're, like, a someone in the first year of British high school to name it. You know, when everyone's still in their, like, My Chemical Romance phase, that's kind of what it sounds like to me. Anyway, I'm not a big fan of the art style of it just because it looks like if Skylanders the game did a game cover of the original trilogy. Like, you know how you have, like, cover versions of songs where they reinterpret songs in their own style? That's what it feels like. It feels like a Skylanders cover of the original Spyro series in terms of art style. And so the skyboxes have kind of taken a hit accordingly, but I don't know, I'll reserve judgment until it's fully released. I don't remember what else I was saying, but I do believe that that's all we can do here, save for, you know, cheesing our way into there. And you're welcome. It did take me a while to get the footage of the cheesing my way into the Sergeant Bird bit, but that was done on a separate save file, so it won't interfere with this one. So, we need to replace idle heads, and there's a whole load of gems that we're missing, but there's not much we can do about that, so I guess we'll just leave. Guess I'll die, as the meme goes. Does disappoint me somewhat, though, but that's all we can do in there for now. Just over half, well, okay, just under 3/4 of the gems, and we're missing 2 eggs. Basically the story there. Now, we could go and open that portal, and I intend to in just a hot second, but before we do that, just let's come and see our friends so far. Only the most recent one will jump down to talk to you, though, so bear that in mind.
If you can bring back one person from each of our 5 worlds, we can help you use the balloon.
There you go, there's the official explanation, but yeah, only one will come down to talk to you at any given time, and I believe it is the one that you rescued the most, acquired the most recently. Anyway, we've been through this shtick before. 14 eggs, seal, go.
Yay! My portal is working! I'll see you at the beach!
Yum yum, because it is summertime and shit. Yeah, Seashell Shore. Surprisingly difficult level, all things considered, he says, scratching his arm and bashing the microphone stand accordingly. But this level has some dope music, but then again, all the worlds in Sunrise Spring do to an extent. Also, we're underwater.
While I was gone, my friends borrowed the Rhinox submarine, and then they took it for a joyride, and then they smashed it into a big pile of rocks. Oddly enough, the Rhinox failed to see the humor in the story and stuffed my friends in the jail behind you.
Yum. This was, as a child, my first experience of the word joyride. Also, okay, there is at least 1 skill point here, and if there's more than 1, I don't remember it. But we have a full-on introduction to underwater everything. Combat, exploration, everything. It's like Aquaria Towers, but more so. So we have shells, we have enemies, we have enemies that fire missile torpedo things. You could say that they're firing shells of their own kind. Haha. And there's the submarine they were talking about. But yeah, this was my first experience of the word and the concept of joyriding. There's a chicken. Because, of course, sea chickens, why would you not? But yeah, so Sunrise Spring, as a homeworld, has iconic music for me for a number of reasons, and we'll come back to the other reasons later down the line. But certainly, Seashell Shore's music is really good once it gets to the drop. And where did the front of the submarine go? Cloud Spires has really dope music, Molten Crater when it gets going, and really, Sunny Villa is the only one that I'm not, I'm apathetic towards, and then there's Sheila's Alp, which I just outright do not enjoy. I don't know, there's something about it that I just don't have a fun time with. Zoe, how are your boobs?
If you want a quick summary of your progress in a world, you can press the select button to open the Atlas page for the world you are in.
You mean that thing I've been doing this entire time? Anyway, shells. Sometimes there are friends inside them. Take note. Now, what I appreciate about this game as well is obviously the art style is a lot more similar to Spyro 2 than it is to Spyro 1, just because of, you know, hardware improvements and stuff. And yet, we've yet to come across a level in this game that feels like a carbon copy or a rip-off or an update or a tribute to anything from the second game, and I appreciate that because there are only so many level tropes that you can actually do things with. Crying child! How are you crying underwater? It's like that episode of Futurama where Bender burns down a house underwater with a cigar, and that just raises more questions. I don't know, it's too warm for me to fully think of how to quote properly and be words, so... Also, right, these are Army of Pineapples, and when we get to the drop of the music and I can't tell where that is, those trees specifically remind me of that. Now, can we charge these? I don't recall. We can. That's the funnest way of killing those enemies. Aha! Kill, destroy, be mean, wreck, crush, fall. I didn't forget to resume commentating there. I just happened to notice that that's when the drop of music came in, and just that's such an iconic riff to me, and I just love it, because Cloud Spires and Seashell Shore, two of my favourite level themes from my childhood. And did we get everything out here? I believe we did. So allow me to just burp through this wall. I can't burp through the wall, I must charge it with my face. And those enemies just kind of lunge towards you if you give them the opportunity to. And for some reason, this room reminds me that you can execute a swimming in the air glitch in this level. There are quite a few levels across the original trilogy, well, not the second game, obviously, because I didn't have swimming, but 2 and 3, where if you do the right thing in the right place, then you can swim in the... like, the game will think you're underwater when you're not. Also, Zoe, hello.
You can hover to get more distance when gliding. Just press the triangle button at the end of your glide.
Okay. Just, there was a flash there where she reminded me of Bernadette from The Big Bang Theory, and I only know about that because my parents love it as a series. They still haven't let that one go. I don't watch it myself, and I didn't even find out until today that that was, as a series, was ending anyway. And I've seen, like, half of two episodes of the follow-up series Young Sheldon, and I do not like that at all. And it's got nothing to do with Sheldon Cooper as a character. It's just... it seems like yet another one of those series of, haha, the American education system is full of bullies, we're gonna find funniness in that. Let's legitimize them, haha. As if that isn't also a rife, stagnant problem in this country too. That's what I was talking about before. There's an area challenge portal thing that looks like the way into a Animal Buddies level, and in this case we have a Sheila one, which I will come back to because this episode's gonna run over long anyway, because we have one whole level to get through, and we've already been through most of Molten Crater. Molten Mater, that, well, I don't know. That almost works better, except it contains the word mater. As I was saying, though, if you time your everything with precision and do the right thing in the right place, then almost any level that has water in it in this game, you can trick the game into thinking that you're underwater when you're not, and so you can basically use the swimming controls in open air and just fly freely. I would say fly like an eagle, but I find that song so very irritating. Also, kill that particular bit of fodder. It's not even an enemy, it is a bit of fodder, it will just give you health. And you get a skill point. Because it goes on a really circuitous route around this room, and it's supposed to be difficult to get, but I just got it then. The game refers to it as the Funky Chicken. That was my first experience of the Funky Chicken. I didn't even know it was a song until I mentioned that, oh hey, this is a skill point in this game, I shall add Funky Chicken to my vernacular. And then my parents were like, oh, you heard the Funky Chicken song then? No. No, I did not. Please enlighten me, except I don't even legs. Legs? You're an octopus! That was a string of thoughts. I always wondered why the octopodes, I'm sorry, in this level sound like cats. Do they sound like cats? Because the evidence is conflicting with my childhood memories. Like, they sound exactly how I remember as far as I can hear through the TV. But at the same time, cats. As the Funky Chicken respawned, oh, there's an up area as well. You might think that, oh, isn't this just the way we just came? No, this is an entirely separate area. And I feel like the music should just cut out up here entirely, because this seems like the sort of place where, like, the weather would be warm, but it would be inexplicably cold up here just because of the damp and the fact that it's surrounded on all sides, and there's a challenge portal here that cuts out the music. Anyway, now this is a thing. Here is an eye. I'm not sure how to articulate this, so here's a friend.
Pluto the Rhinoc has challenged us to a naval battle. Our speedboat versus his nuclear shark submarine. If we win, we get the dragon egg he's guarding. If we lose, we have to spend a month in KP.
I don't know what that is.
What do you say? Do you want to take on Pluto?
I get the reference. Yeehaw.
Okay, good luck. Just remember, stay away from the sharp end.
Tee-hee. I should have read the instructions. Hang on. As I recall, yeah, X to boost and circle to fire. And you need to actually collect missiles, otherwise you will suffer. So we have a mini-boss of sorts. And I'm just going to stand here and spam missiles at you because I can. And be aware that, obviously he'll attack, and if left to his own devices, he'll repair himself as well. So that's what he's doing when he pops out of the ship. Ship? Sure, ship. And he can collect ammo as well. And, it's tank controls, which I completely forgot about until now. I don't even remember it being tank controls, so it's whatever. Anyway, you could just suffer, please? Suffer Please sounds a bit like Sophocles, which is apparently a character in one of the Generation 7 Pokemon games. I don't much care for Generation 7. I don't remember the controls being quite as wonky as this. Well, whatever. The thing that I'm thinking here is that we'll have one of these missions in every homeworld, funnily enough, where we have kind of a boss-like entity, a mini-boss, really. And I'm being really fucking careless here. He has one hit left and so do I. And I'm just hoping that I bumble into some ammunition, because otherwise we're going to suffer a little bit. There you go. You're dead now. There we go. Yeah, there's a boss mission in every homeworld.
Wow! That's the first time Bluto has ever lost! You got a lot of talent for someone so purple. I hope this egg was worth all the trouble.
Bitch, you're purple! What does KP stand for? Killer Purple? Cranky PP, but spelled with a K for some reason? But yes, so there is a mini-boss mission in every homeworld, with one exception, which I will address in due course. This is going to be fun, collecting gems underwater without sparks, because I was so fucking careless, kind of on purpose, just because it's easier to go into that with all guns blazing, at least if you're as veteran as I. Now there's a random thought. I wonder if Lucajin would ever consider LPing the classic Spyro games, just because, like, when you get to this point, yeah, there are a lot of underwater levels, and she has, like, a massive phobia of water, which she seems to be, like, getting close to getting over, which, like, I can respect that. But since you don't have an air meter in this game, you can stay underwater indefinitely, I wonder if she'd appreciate that. Just a random thought. I've never actually met her, never spoken to her, but I have spoken to Attacking Toucans because I interviewed him for a university project, which I have since finished. I have now as good as graduated, I've just not been to the ceremony yet, because that's not till October, but whatever. And I don't really know, like, I did this documentary about Let's Players, and, well, radio documentary, it's all 100% audio, and I'm probably going to post it to YouTube at some point. I just need a validation that it's good enough to do so, even though it probably is, because my entire degree hinges on it. Anyway, let's just head back to the previous area. Should have saved that skill point so I could get fully healed. You know, fully healed. Why did that merit a you know? Legs that have eggs on the end of, like, eggs instead of toes. Hobbledy bobbledy bango. Oh, there's a gem. Somehow I missed you. I love you. That makes me feel like I'm missing another one gem somewhere. Is it you? It is you.
My plan worked! That dumb octopus dropped the jail key while he was shaking me. Now I can free my friends!
The seals are so cute and they have such cute voices, and there they go, just kind of numing off into the infinite abyss.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. One of the Rhinox had this egg in his lunchbox.
But that's got nothing to do with the sorceress's modus operandi, which is a phrase I use entirely too much because it keeps coming up for reasons. That was adorable. Anyway, you just bugger off through there. How does the water know not to spill out through the portal? On both ends, mind you, because, like, the portal in here dumped us out in this very room full of water, and the exit portal's here as well. Now, we do still have a couple of things to do here, but I just want to heal up first, goddamn. Now, occasionally, as was the case in the previous game, and possibly the one before that too, sometimes fodder will drop an extra life, so consider that. You might get lucky, you might get a thing. Now, we're not entirely done here. There are still two more things. One of them is Sheila, obviously, but first we're going to go through this, and then I'll end the episode, because this is a load of pig anuses. And it recurs later in the game as a gimmick too. Fun!
We had a dragon egg for you, but we used it to test our ultra-high-speed superfluidity tunnel. The good news is that it made it to the end of the tunnel without a scratch. The bad news is that there's no way to get it back out now.
Why do you even have an ultra-high-speed superfluidity speed tunnel?
The tunnel is chock full of Rhinox and floating mines. The only way to retrieve that egg is to defeat every single Rhinox in the tunnel.
Ugh, I forgot about that part. Well, time for a montage, methinks. Yum.
surprisingly good fluid dynamic characteristics. From now on, all of our submarines will be egg-shaped.
Bitch! Fuck your fluid dynamics! I'm not gonna cut a single one of those out. I will montage them together. I'm not gonna cut any of them out just so you can see how many attempts that took me. That is hard, and it's a shitty mechanic. But they were proud of that. That is not the last time we'll have to do that. For now, I have been, and will continue to be, Tessellating Hexagons. And in the next episode, we'll head to Sheila's section of this level, and then do some other fantastic stuff in the meantime. I'm going to go and grind a little bit more health, and see you then for that. I need to cool off. Ah!